You ever notice how the smartest people often seem unhappy? The ones who think deeply, who understand the world better than most, somehow find it harder to smile, to feel light, to simply be. It's strange, isn't it? You'd expect intelligence to make life easier, clearer, more fulfilling. But for many, it does the exact opposite. And that's what we're exploring today. The psychology behind why intelligent people struggle with happiness. There's a quote by Ernest Hemingway that says, "Happiness in intelligent people is the rarest thing I know." It's a haunting line, because it's true. The more aware you are, the more you notice the cracks. You see through people's masks. You see the hypocrisy in systems, the emptiness in chasing things, the pain behind fake smiles. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. Intelligent people tend to live in their heads. They think a lot. They analyze everything, from their past to their future, from small interactions to the meaning of life itself. And while deep thinking is a gift, it can also be a curse. Because the mind, when it doesn't rest, becomes a battlefield. Every emotion is questioned, every decision dissected, and every joy overanalyzed until it loses its purity. Imagine this, a simple sunset. Most people might look at it, smile, feel peace. But an overthinker, a deeply intelligent mind, might start thinking about time, impermanence, or the science of why the sky turns orange. And just like that, the beauty is gone, replaced by thought. That's one of the greatest ironies of intelligence. The smarter you are, the harder it is to just feel. Psychologists have found that highly intelligent people tend to have a higher level of metacognition, the ability to think about their own thoughts. It sounds great in theory, but it often leads to a loop of self-questioning. Am I doing enough? Why do I feel this way? What's the point of all this? That loop can slowly drain joy out of the simplest experiences. There's also something called existential awareness. The more you understand about life, the more you realize how uncertain, temporary, and often unfair it is. Most people can distract themselves with routine or entertainment. But intelligent minds, they see through it. They crave meaning in everything, love, work, purpose, and when they can't find it, they spiral. You see, happiness thrives in simplicity. It lives in the moment, in the now. But intelligence tends to pull you out of the moment. You're either analyzing the past or predicting the future. You rarely just exist. And that's where the real struggle begins. Between the mind that wants to understand and the heart that simply wants to feel. Another key reason why intelligent people struggle with happiness is that they often carry emotional depth. They don't just feel, they feel deeply. A simple rejection can hurt like abandonment. A small success might not feel enough. They crave intensity in relationships, in purpose, in meaning, and that very intensity makes them sensitive to disappointment. There's a saying, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. The smarter you are, the more aware you become of the vastness of what you can't control, the chaos of the world, the unpredictability of people, the limits of your own existence. That awareness can easily turn into anxiety or even quiet sadness. And then there's loneliness, something many intelligent people silently live with. When your thoughts run deeper than most, it becomes harder to connect. Small talk feels empty. Crowded rooms feel isolating. You crave conversations that stimulate, that mean something. But those are rare, and when they don't come, you start to feel misunderstood. Not better than others, just unseen. Albert Einstein once said, "It is strange to be known so universally, and yet to be so lonely." That captures the paradox perfectly. Intelligent people often appear confident, articulate, even successful, but inside, they feel a quiet distance from the world around them. Psychology calls this intellectual loneliness. It's not about being physically alone, it's about feeling mentally and emotionally disconnected, because your way of seeing life doesn't easily fit with others. There's also the pressure of awareness. Intelligent people see what's wrong in the world, in themselves, in others, and they feel responsible for it. They carry the weight of understanding. They notice when someone's lying, when something's unjust, when things don't align. And while that awareness gives them depth, it also makes them restless. It's hard to be happy when you can't ignore what others easily overlook. But here's something beautiful. Awareness, if handled right, doesn't have to destroy happiness. It can elevate it. The key is balance. Learning when to think and when to simply live. Research in positive psychology shows that happiness isn't found in ignorance. It's found in acceptance. Intelligent people often resist what they can't control. They fight uncertainty, trying to think their way into peace. But peace isn't a problem to solve. It's a state to allow. One study from Yale University found that people with high emotional intelligence, not just IQ, but EQ, tend to be significantly happier. Why? Because they use their awareness to feel, not just to think. They understand their emotions, but they don't drown in them. They notice pain, but they also allow joy. That's the shift intelligent people often need. From overthinking to observing, from analyzing to experiencing. It's about realizing that your thoughts aren't enemies, but they're also not your masters. If you think about it, the world often romanticizes intelligence. We praise brilliance, logic, productivity, but rarely do we teach emotional balance. And that's where the smartest people often fall. Not in intellect, but in the heart. There's a quote by Dostoevsky that says, "It takes a very deep nature to feel deeply happy." Maybe that's the truth intelligent people forget. Their depth isn't a curse, it's potential. It just needs direction. So how can intelligent people find happiness again? It starts with letting go of the need to understand everything. Happiness isn't logical, it's emotional. It's messy, unpredictable, and beautifully irrational. You don't need to dissect it. You need to feel it. Practice being present. Instead of thinking about why you're watching the sunset, just watch it. Instead of wondering if your relationship will last forever, appreciate that it's real right now. Reconnect with simple joys. Intelligent people often underestimate how powerful small moments can be. Cooking, walking, laughing with someone, doing something meaningless but fun. Those aren't distractions. They're anchors. And most importantly, stop confusing peace with boredom. Intelligent people often think calm means something's wrong. That excitement equals purpose. But real peace feels quiet, and that quiet can be intimidating at first. Learn to love it. There's another quote by Alan Watts that fits perfectly here. Stop measuring days by degree of productivity and start experiencing them by degree of presence. Maybe that's what happiness is. Not a destination to reach, but a state you return to when you stop running. Because in the end, intelligence is not the enemy of happiness. Disconnection is. When you live too much in your head, you forget the world in front of you, the people beside you, the beauty around you. So, if you're someone who feels too much, thinks too deeply, and struggles to be happy, remember this. There's nothing wrong with you. You just see more than most. You feel the weight of reality, and that's okay. But don't let awareness become a cage. Let it be a window. You can be intelligent and still be happy. You can think deeply and still live freely. You can understand the darkness and still choose the light. Because the smartest thing you can ever do is to stop trying to figure out happiness and simply start allowing it.